Hello, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Are You Free for Coffee podcast. We are currently on a break to snuggle Natasha's beautiful new baby, and we will return with new episodes starting season 3, October 26, 2022. For now, enjoy some of our favorites from previous seasons. Until next time.
Hello guys, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Natasha.
And we were wondering,
are you free for coffee?
Welcome, welcome.
Hey guys.
Okay guys, today is our Bridgerton 2 extravaganza.
Yes!
Now, we're going to have spoilers. So if you have not seen it, come back.
No.
Because we're going to discuss it. So,
the good,
get ready.
The not good.
So my first impression, I guess I was nervous about it because it's kind of like, when you're expecting a second baby and you don't think you're going to love the second baby as much as you love the first.
I hate to admit that's very accurate.
How I felt like, oh my God, the first one was so good. Can the second one be that good?
Because we loved it. We really did.
That was kind of, I was nervous about that. Some things that I did like, I thought Anthony really brought the heat. I felt like he rivaled the Duke in that department.
He did.
So kudos to him.
Yes.
I love the diversity. It was so refreshing. I loved his backstory, and it was, with the dad and some of the trauma that he's suffered, and just really having to grow up and be responsible.
And character development. They really developed the character for us in a very believable way.
I felt that too.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see. I did like Eloise coming out and just her trying to navigate it in her way.
Yes.
And being somebody this is not my jam.
No.
I don't like this.
I have to
I'm
do
not
this.
a girly girl.
Yeah.
Don't like to dress up.
No, the feathers just about took her out.
So shallow and superficial for me. And that was just interesting to me. Right. I enjoyed that. I loved seeing Violet's backstory.
Yes.
And her love for the husband.
Yes.
And her depression, her grief
Was
was so
so
realistically portrayed.
I thought she just absolutely embodied that.
She did.
I bought that hook, line, and sinker. Admittedly, I definitely cried. I thought, can you imagine postpartum depression? Them not believing that was a thing back then.
Then grief,
and
on
then
top
grief.
Of it.
You're grieving not just the father of your children, not just the Lord of your home, but they liked each other.
Yeah.
This man.
That was the love of her life.
It was love of her life.
Yeah.
And he died picking flowers for her.
Right.
Like, I was like, oh, okay, cue the waterworks.
Yeah. So, and I liked Violet before.
You did.
And I felt like she was a good actress, but this really showed her depth.
It gave us a bit more range. Yeah. For sure.
It did. I loved seeing Will, the boxer.
Yes.
From the first season.
And his little sassy wife. I love her.
Yes, I love them both. And I loved seeing his story and how he started a business.
Yes.
That was really interesting to me. I loved seeing Daphne and Simon's baby.
Simon's baby.
That was very sweet. And I loved how they showcased some of the Hindu rituals and things.
I did too.
That was so cool.
I did too.
Haldi, I think it's pronounced.
That is correct.
Is that it?
Yep.
And it's a turmeric ceremony, and they do it kind of a premarital ceremony, and it reduces nervousness and protects the recipients from the evil eye.
Yes.
And then I love them, the scene where they were heating the oil and she was massaging her head.
Yes.
I loved seeing that.
Yes.
That was so interesting to me. I'm not privy to any of those ceremonies. I didn't know about them, and it was really interesting.
So it was a fun flashback for me. So I was previously married, and I did all of it. So I'm watching it, and when I saw her heating the oil, I was like, oh, I remember this.
That was so cool to me.
It's so beautiful, and it's so attentive and calm, and it's almost more beautiful than the wedding. It really is, going through the traditions.
It's so intimate.
It is very intimate. And so I loved it.
I loved it.
I loved it.
And I guess unless you watch Bollywood or something, you don't really,
you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't see it. So That was so educational.
Shout out to all my Desi people who were like, yay, we know what this is.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought they were going to bust out with some Laddu. I was like, and even when the older sister, who I'm going to say is my favorite character this season, when she made the chai, I still do that.
Oh, like, her technique.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I still have the same little strainer from my first mother-in-law. And so when I saw her doing it, I was like, oh man. And it was funny because my daughter walked in. She said, oh, Mommy, she knows how to make your chai latte. I said, yes, she does. She's probably better at it than Mommy. Mommy's getting rusty. So yeah, they definitely, the cultural aspects, I don't believe Bridgerton ever disappoints in highlighting multiple cultural aspects.
And that's wonderful.
It was really
was there
beautiful.
One thing or what stood out for you of this season that you know, a scene or storyline that you really like? Was there anything extra? I know you like a lot of that too. But
I do. I think the women, and they did this in the first season, but just the women having each other's backs. Because there's the friendship, because there's some big betrayal. Now, guys, if you do not like betrayal, this one went there. It really went there with women backstabbing women and family backstabbing, even family. But I loved it. I loved Lady Danbury's relationship with the Queen. And even though the Queen is bossy and kind of smug and, you know, after Lady Whistledown.
She's on her own level.
She is, babe, she is just, she is who she is.
Yeah, she's incomparable.
Yeah, no joke. But, you know, just those partnerships, being there for Lady Sharma, you know, you see these women having each other's backs in a world that's dominated by men. So it's like, if we don't have each other's backs. Where they have
no power, no anything.
Right. We have to learn to work
each other.
Yes. Yeah. We have to learn to work it. I like that.
Okay, some things that we didn't like, or I didn't like, and Natasha will weigh in and put her 2 cents in. I wish they'd went more into Kate's backstory, because in the book, which I did read, she has some trauma concerning death, the same as Anthony does.
Yes.
So I wish they had kind of given us a little preview of that. I felt that would have made me feel more compassionate.
You would have bought
her.
You would have bought the whole thing a little more.
And just brought them, you know, their simpatico together.
Yeah. I think you should share it, because you helped me.
Well, in the book, she has a trauma. Her mother dies, and the father, but the mother has
passes first.
And, you know, back in the old days, I remember this, my grandmother saying, even in the early 20th century, you know, they would bring people in, children even, to see dying people. Like, you have to say goodbye. And they didn't think about trauma and all that. You just went. So she's a little bitty girl. You're coming in to say goodbye to the mother, and there's a thunderstorm going on. And, you know, she sees the mother, and the mother's kind of, either she sits up in the bed or she does something, and the lightning hits, and she's traumatized.
So kind of think someone's sitting up out of a casket. You know, really, this woman is dying. She's sick.
And she's kind of railing, or she does something.
And this is so before like morphine. And not that there were no sedatives, but when people died, it was painful. It was ugly. It was
it wasn't always just slipping away.
It wasn't always just slipping
away.
So,
of course, in the child's mind, you know, you correlate this thunder to this traumatic incident.
Yes.
So from then on, she has panic attacks where lightning and thunder are concerned. So when it starts to rain, she just melts down.
Right.
So in the book, there is a scene with where she's, you know, when they're at the country house with the Bridgertons, there's a thunderstorm in the middle of the night, and it kind of catches her off guard. She's in the library to find a book, and she has such panic attacks to the degree where she seriously just melts down. So she crawls under a table and is like shivering.
Yes.
So Anthony comes in, finds her, crawls under there with her, and kind of comforts her. So that's, in my mind, that was a pivotal moment for them in their story, where her veneer begins to chip.
Yes.
And he's starting to get in. So I missed that.
Yeah,
I really felt that scene could have been done.
In the show, she's just getting a book from the library. We see that she's having a restless night. He doesn't see this, obviously. He comes into the library. I mean, they could have done more, because she does at that moment ask him, how did your father die?
Right.
And so I'm really thinking, based on, the book, I'm thinking, okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though she's not under the table, which I would have liked to have seen, then she's going to share. Thunderstorms have always scared me because
why.
Right. And it's just like, all right, good night. It's like, wait, what? Yeah. Like, that's it?
So I was really kind of disappointed in that. And it would have made her a much more sympathetic character.
Yes.
In my mind.
Yeah.
Because as you see her in season 2, she's just this hard, kind of bitchy person.
Yeah.
And she's so hard, you don't know why.
Right.
And if we had seen that backstory, we would have been a lot more sympathetic to her character.
Right.
So I had a problem with that. I felt that they let the engagement go on way too long with Edwina and Anthony.
Y'all.
Like, up to the altar, not a fan. Y'all know how I hold grudges.
Yeah.
Baby, you'd be dead to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have just been it.
On my wedding day.
Right. I did not like that. Now, in the book,
I mean, they were at the point where
at the altar,
the archbishop is looking for him to repeat after him.
Right.
And he's Lord Bridgerton. And so she kind of has to nudge him
way too far.
Yeah,
and
it did.
And it felt like
to be giving googly eyes to your sister.
It was too much.
Yeah.
And they didn't. In the book, Edwina had other suitors, and she was coming to the realization that she and Anthony were not the best match in terms of temperament and personality and all that. She liked him,
but
I'm better suited to XYZ.
Yes.
So I felt that could have been done. I didn't know why. I was reading, they were afraid of repeating some of the first season's things, and I get that. Because in the book, there's a thing with the bee sting, and she and Anthony, Kate and Anthony are caught in a compromising position, kind of like the Duke and Daphne. So I understand not going there with that.
Right.
Because that's been done. We maybe don't want to see that. But some of the other things, I think it would have just taken a couple of scenes it would have enhanced the story so much more for me.
Right. I agree. I do agree.
And I didn't like that Edwina was so into Anthony.
Yes.
I mean, I understood it. She was young, impressionable. He's handsome. He's a Viscount, all the things. I get it. But like, I didn't want to see her fall so hard for him. I'm with you
because, when they were the night before the wedding, as they're preparing for the ceremony, when I say they, to be more specific, the Sharmas. So it's Edwina, Kate, who's her older sister, and her mother, who's Lady Mary. When they're getting ready, she brings up, he does not look at me. And so she is realizing, like, but when
he's just not that into me.
He's just not that into me. But it's just, they just let it run too, that part burned to me too fast and too hard. Mm-hmm. They should have slow burned that just a little bit, because next thing you know, it is the wedding. It's time to go. This is a bad look.
They kind of alluded to it in the one scene where she's saying she likes to read, and she asked him, have you read such and such?
Yes, and he tells her the last thing he read was the ledgers, and they were terribly boring.
So you kind of see, okay, well, he's not. Mm-hmm. Now, in the book, she loves to read, she loves to learn, and she is drawn to a guy that's more academic. Mm-hmm. And they should have shown that.
They should have.
Like, she should have, that one little scene should have been like, maybe not.
Maybe not. Right.
And I think they could have built that up, because
instead they polished it up, which they didn't need to do. They polished it up, and that gives viewers hope. Like, okay, they're different, but that's okay. And it's like, not this different.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's what makes the altar scene so crushing.
Yes.
Because she's so into him. If she had begun
no
that realization of like, we are not really on the same level. We're just not. Then it wouldn't have been so
I've lost everything.
Crushing. Yeah. She's in love. This is what I want. I want this life. I want this man. And yeah, I thought that could have been
definitely could have been better.
Yeah. Although I felt the premarital sex between Anthony and Kate was hot. It was.
It was good.
I just felt like she wouldn't have taken that risk. back then. I mean, they, if a kiss is like a shotgun wedding,
right?
I don't know what I don't know what would have happened with that. They would have run both of them out. I don't really know.
Yeah, it would have been devastating. Not in that case, not just to her as a lady, but to him.
To violate a lady.
To violate a lady. Absolutely.
Which is what it would, even though it was consensual, that's what it would have been considered. Would have been that.
But I will say this, in the context of that situation, she really believed she was leaving the next day. She thought she was done.
But would you, there's no birth control.
Would I?
There's no, just the risk. But
people took that risk all the time, Lisa. People do it now.
Now they do, but you have options. You have options? You have options, and it's not that big of a deal. So it's not that big of a deal now. It's not a big deal at all now.
Right.
But back then, think about the first season. That little romantic embrace between Simon and
was you gonna marry my
sister? Shotgun wedding.
Yeah.
Okay, get ready. So you are, and then y'all outside in the gazebo. First off, just too.
First off,
unbelievable.
But if there were no mosquitoes, I would do it now.
Okay, number one, y'all know I'm not hiking. I'm not. We're not doing that. If the outside means the Four Seasons, I can help you. But
that's not the outside.
Gazebo, no, I'm not doing that. So I just don't think she would have taken the risk. It was unbelievable to me. And then she's so uptight this whole time. That's why I'm saying I need to see the chips, because until now you've seen no chips.
You have. So obviously, guys, this is where Lisa and I we agree to disagree, because I did see I did see little things chipping away. They did not give us nearly as much with Kate as they did with Anthony. Obviously that's just a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. We see all the little pieces with him, and with her, you get like 3 taps of a hammer at best, like doot, doot, doot. And with him, we're watching them deconstruct. So that part wasn't fair. I'm going to say this, hormones are hormones. And honestly, to go from never touching anyone, never having a suit, just being who she is, and to feeling something for someone, I don't think she would have in her right mind taken the risk. I think in that moment, she wasn't thinking with her brain. And if you watch the scene, you'll agree with me. That's not where her blood was flowing.
No,
not at all.
I will concede that.
She thought she was leaving.
It just was kind of unbelievable. I think if I had seen more chips, I would have been more receptive to that. Yeah, this is it. She's really going there. I just didn't see that. I didn't see the veneer crumble enough for the whole wall to come down in that one instant.
Well, and I am biased because there are a couple listeners that have known me for like upwards of 20, 30 years, and they know I am Kate through and through. That is who I am. I am like that with my younger sisters. I am Kate. I am team fuck off, get out of my face, do not talk to me. No, I'm not going to smile. And if you ask me again, I'm going to punch you in the face. And that is who I've been I am only soft at all because my husband is certainly Anthony. And that's his personality. Like everything, when we first started dating, every single thing we did, our parents would tell us, it's not a competition. It's not a competition. Like even to this day, it's a joke. It's not a competition. So we watched that scene together and my husband was like, this argument seems really, really familiar, does it not? And I was like, I do recall a very similar engagement that we had. He's like, yeah, this seems exactly like this situation, except I didn't get the happy ending that Anthony is about to get. And I'm like, yeah, that's true, but you did not deserve it in that moment. So I guess because we were that like,
you understand the dynamic.
Well, but I think, guys, I'm pregnant again. Clearly we see how it ended.
But unless you're like that, do you think people see it? That's my thing. I think just the average person, you understand that contention.
Because you're much softer than I am when it comes to romance. Well, so for you, you're like, what?
Yeah,
like, when the heck did you get
That's not me, but I do. I love Jane Austen, and this is her trope that I hate you. I hate you. Yes, but you do see the crumbling, and that's what I'm missing. And in the book, you did see it. So I just need a little more few more bricks out that wall before the wall came down. And then it would have been
bricks off that gazebo.
Baby, it would have been
that scene came up. I said, Lisa did not warn me about this.
It would have been more believable. That's the only thing. Now I love them together. Lisa. Once they finally got together, I just need to see more. His hands,
I mean, like in one swoop, her dress was up, his hands were in. Her brain is no longer activated. It's gone. Away. And then you think, like, this is really tightly wound. This chick is what is she, 6 past 20 back then? Yeah. She probably didn't think she could even have, and that's something I thought too. I thought, she's probably thinking, this is my one chance. This is my one chance to do this. To experience this. I'm going to go back home tomorrow anyway. And she is very intelligent. She's very intelligent. I'm going to say she probably knew where babies came from. Historically.
Oh, yeah, she knew.
Yeah.
I think she had figured that out.
Historically, women really didn't know. Women, historically, unless you had someone pull you to the side and tell you, you were like Daphne. And that's just the truth, because it was just...
I don't think usually they got this level of attraction, because it really usually was just kind of a business thing.
It was a business thing.
He's tolerable.
Yes. Yeah.
I could tolerate him.
He's not beating your ass, and he lets you have some pin
He's
money.
Got a little money, and we have a nice house. Right. And I can lay there and think of England.
Yes.
And that's really what they did. So just to have that attraction.
You, girl, that's
but
fire.
I needed the thunderstorm. But if I had seen that, I would have believed it. But I would have believed. I needed to see that connection.
And you knew better.
I needed to see his nurturing side with her. I needed to see her let him in.
Oh,
she did. No pun intended. She did.
No,
but I needed her to let him in emotionally. A little bit. Just a little bit. Because right in the book, even after that, they go right back to their contentious selves. But you just begin to see it, Chip.
Right. You've seen, okay, but he made a crack. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she divulges why.
Why? Yeah.
So he's understanding, like,
I think
this is something we have in
has
common.
Ruined it for you.
It kind of did, but
because then now you're expecting more.
Yeah.
Than what it can.
I'm sorry. It is what it is. But I'm over the Featheringtons. I know we need them
raggedy ass Feather. We only need them for pen. I really wanted them to sell to the Americas.
I'm tired of the neon clothes.
Oh my gosh,
I'm tired of
fabric.
It's just like.
Okay, the mother always looks like drapes from the 70s to me, like 60s or so. I'm like, no one was wearing this back then.
It's just me. I know we need them for comic relief, for this and that, but I'm over them.
So what do we want to see in the future with Bridgerton?
Y'all.
What are we hoping for? Lisa just wants more sex.
I need Violet to find love.
She is...
Violet ain't dead.
She ain't dead.
Violet ain't dead, and now, Violet is cute.
No, we don't need Violet is fertile though. I don't know how much love.
I think. No, she's past that.
Is she?
She's got. He's the oldest. What did you say? He's 29. Didn't they say he's 28?
He's 28
because he was 18, and then it was 10 years when they showed.
He's 28.
So 28. She was 20. Oh, I don't know.
Mm-mm. Have a damn surprise, Bridgerton.
Well, that's
I guess it would be Bridgerton.
It wouldn't be. I mean, I wouldn't hate it, but.
That woman got 8 kids.
Fabulous, sexy, older Duke, Count.
Yes,
Mark,
she does. She needs someone.
Key or whatever needs to roll up on Violet. Yes. Please, Shonda.
And
please.
As her kids are getting older, the truth is they need her less in that mothering capacity.
Right.
Like the babies. Now that's a fun part. Adults, we kind of look the same through periods. But when I saw Hyacinth, I can never say it right, and the little boy, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like just in a season,
growing,
they're so much taller. Like they are not itty bitty kids anymore. They're not, and they're running around. They're doing stuff. They've got their own questions.
10, I guess.
Yes,
it was 10. Yeah.
So
that's what we want now, you guys. Fun fact, as Natasha says, the Sharma's grandfather, is Rupert from Ted Lasso. Rebecca's asshole husband.
But he's so
But he is sexy. And when I saw him, I thought, why didn't you save him for Violet?
Yes.
We could have had it because when he's very handsome,
and when Rupert.
He always plays kind of an asshole.
He does.
But I've seen him play and other things, and
asshole.
he's not an asshole.
Oh, you have? Yeah, I've never seen him not.
Yeah, he's been in a few things, and he's nice, but he's very handsome.
He's very handsome,
and he would have been the perfect. Yes. We don't want him an asshole. We want him nice.
Yeah,
but we need a sexy older guy for Violet. Shonda, please, we're begging.
Yeah, we do. We do want that.
Yes, and you guys, I need Reggae just to fall off in there and play some croquet or something. It doesn't have to be a big scene.
Yeah, it would
have a piece of pie at dinner. We don't need a whole conversation.
Anthony Head.
Is that his name?
That's
okay.
In our head, he is Rupert.
Always.
But he...
Forever and ever, amen.
Yes, for the sake of looking, and they're like, who are they talking about? That's what
it is. It's Rebecca's asshole husband from Ted Lasso. Exactly, but he is... handsome.
He's handsome, and he would have been so cute with Violet.
Very debonair, very aristocratic, which he could have really played that part.
I mean, my gosh.
And I thought, dog, and they put him with the
now we didn't like her little attitude. She
little trollish lady.
Yes.
And I thought,
well, it's because she was a grade A bitch. I mean,
she was, but did they need Rupert for her?
I don't know.
We needed him for Violet.
Maybe she'll die.
Okay, we need the Reggae. We don't need no more sex with you. I mean, we love you.
No, keep your clothes on.
If you wanted to, we'll take it.
Obliged.
But that's okay. Yeah. We don't need that. Fall off in there, play some Paul Mall.
Now, if we're gonna cast votes,
have a piece of pie. We just,
promenade.
Hold the baby. Just a couple scenes. Yeah, that's all.
I am gonna say though, if we're voting on sex scenes, the latter was great. If you just decide you would like to do that,
baby. Yes. He did. So,
no, you mean the Duke? I'm talking about the Duke on the ladder. In the first season.
Oh, yeah, he did. If he just wants to.
If he just wants to.
But if, if you're not feeling it anymore,
keep your
that's okay. We just need to see you hold the baby, promenade, do a little something.
Because it looks weird. Everything she did for you and you didn't even come.
And hopefully we'll see Kate and Anthony in continued marital bliss.
I agree.
Because they fought 8 episodes. So I need to see y'all not fighting. We saw a couple scenes, but I just need to see a little less contention.
And
just a little bit.
I think that is who they are. I think they're highly competitive. But we need to know you guys can actually communicate.
We need loving competitiveness.
Yes, I agree.
Like you and your husband. I mean, it doesn't have to be this. Like I said, it
takes time to get there.
Yeah. Okay.
But we do want to see that.
I hope we'll see Eloise break the class line, which we saw a little bit of that with the printer.
Yes.
And so, as per Downton Abbey, where they had a sister kind of broke the line and fell in love with the chauffeur or something, maybe Eloise will be that. And I would love that.
I think that Violet would be okay with it for Eloise because
hear my clock. This is not the raggedy clock.
No, this is the working clock
with the good clock.
Yeah,
but I like.
So this one is actually on time because it's 10.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but I would like to see her just marry someone who respects her intelligence, someone who challenges her, and that is what I'm not saying that he's the one, but that is what she was getting.
That's what we need her to have,
and that's what we need her to have. Yes.
Yeah. I need a makeover for Penelope.
Stop it.
Please. Stop. I just do. Come up out of that orange, that neon, and that please. Yellow. And the really tight curls. Now, they did start loosening.
She started loosening.
Yeah. Yes. So that looks better.
She started loosening.
And, okay. Spoiler alert. Y'all know that she's going to get with Colin. I mean, we see that coming. And in the books they do. Now, unless they change it, I don't know. They might because they've changed some stuff and they say they're going to.
After her and Eloise fell out, you still think they're going to get together?
Out of order, so we don't know what. But I need Penelope just to be a little more sexy, just a little bit,
and a little less neon. I mean,
please.
They all choose. They all have horrible.
That's the dresses. Mother. The mother does that.
It's bad.
But
my gosh,
please, especially she's going to be one of the main things. I need a makeover. She's got money. now?
Baby,
I mean,
we saw it in the floorboard.
Get over there to that Modiste, or whatever they call it, and get some clothes,
Lady
baby.
Delacroix is here to help you.
I don't know who was doing y'all's hair or what. Please.
Yeah.
Penelope needs a little sexy makeover.
She kind of
does. So Colin can show some interest, and so I can take her seriously. Sometimes I can't. It's too much
and she
for me.
Looks so young. Like, Eloise looks young, but Penn has just, because she has a rounder face, she looks like a baby.
Childish.
Yes.
Really
childish.
And
then like, even though Eloise's outfits are almost more childish in the little jackets, the little whatevers, like this yellow, I'm sick of seeing this girl in yellow and orange.
Me too.
Don't do it anymore. These are not.
Yeah, and the hot pink, that can go too. All the neons.
It is fluorescent.
Let's just like retire.
It's like neon. A highlighter pack.
But that's kind of who they are. I think that's what they're showing. But I need to see her come into her own.
Get that baby.
And like, I'm not wearing
dress.
this.
Yes. Get her
or just some earth
dress.
Tones, maybe. I don't know.
Even beige.
I don't even know what would work.
Because her hair is like, she has red hair. Why the hell would you get orange or yellow or?
Well, and that shade. I mean, I guess you could do it, but it needs to tone it down. Yeah. Tone it down. Okay.
So we would like to.
And we want to see Edwina boot up, y'all.
And you know Edwina finna get it.
She's gonna get booed up, but it was heartbreaking for me to see her. It was, y'all. In the book, she's booed up, but I'm telling you, with my grudge loving behind, I hate to admit it, but y'all know how I am, a la Tom Brady. I hold a grudge. If my sister, I don't give a damn what y'all felt for each other. You left me at the damn altar.
Well, technically, she left him at the altar.
Well, she did, but the sister knew it was too much. And I felt it was insurmountable. How do you get over that? And then you marry the guy. You going, that's some damn Real Housewife shit. And y'all know how I feel about that.
You know, Shonda had to bring a little ratchet.
Y'all, but please let Edwina get booed up, y'all.
She is.
We need to see that
I also
early
feel
on.
Like she'll be the wiser this time. She really will.
She will.
She's going to be. And have we not all had this happen? She is going to be the wiser this time.
But not your sister.
I mean, yeah, but again, never mind.
Listen, you know what? If there's anybody that rolled up on my sister, please don't roll up on me.
I agree.
I'm just not doing that. Now,
but you know, back then too. I mean, come on now. Old girl was finna marry her cousin. You know, back then that's just how they rolled. And there was nothing wrong with it, Lord. It just,
okay. So we had issues.
Lord
so we give it 2 thumbs up. We loved it.
I did love
but
it.
We had I had
Lisa
more than
had
Natasha.
Yes.
I had just a few little issues. I still did enjoy it very much.
So you like season 1 more?
I think it was the novelty of it. Just, you hadn't seen that before. Seeing the diversity, the beautiful colors, the sets, the costumes, wigs, all that, and let's face it, the Duke. And any time it's representative of who you are,
right,
you're more invested. Now that's for me,
right,
because I'm single-handedly keeping every Black actor and actress employed,
right,
because I just feel the need. I'm going to support you. I'm going to shout you out.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
So that was my thing with reggae and that was the dynamic there. This, I still loved it. I loved it. There was, and some of it was the book, but I still felt it could have been a little tighter.
Yeah.
And I'm giving them a pass, like Natasha said, because of COVID.
Yes.
I'm giving them a little COVID
they faced
pass.
Some pretty serious
So
setbacks.
Maybe there were some things that they couldn't do. So, but still 2 thumbs up. Okay. Now, just a couple of kind of Bridgerton shout outs. One, Beekman 1802. And I think I'm sure you guys have heard of them. It's a couple. One of the guys used to work for Martha Stewart. They won what's the race show, The Great Race or
The Amazing Race?
Yes. They won that one year. They had a show for a hot minute. I want to say on HGTV. They bought a farm. They have a goat farm. Anyway, they have a company, 1802. It's been around for a while, Beekman, 1802. And they sell goat milk soap. Mm-hmm. And it's lovely. I've bought some for one of my little grand sugars has eczema. And if you do or have any skin allergies or are sensitive, it's wonderful. But they put out a Bridgerton High Society soap set. Yes. So you guys check that out. I haven't tried this one, but I'm sure it's wonderful. It just got released. But I like I said, I have tried some of their other soaps, and they're wonderful.
If you want to be lilac, like Kate was the night she got
or
some.
Lily.
Was it Lily?
I think he said
it
Lily.
was Lily. You're right.
But lilac was Edmund's favorite. Remember? So that might be in there.
That's what it was.
There probably is. Yes. Yeah. Okay, and you guys, Ralph Lauren is now. I would consider him very Bridgerton-ish.
Yes,
he is. You guys know his lines, his ad campaigns are so lush and opulent and gorgeous, but he has gone into partnership with 2 historically Black colleges and universities, and it's the first of its kind. The Polo Ralph Lauren collaboration with both Morehouse and Spelman,
which is awesome.
Awesome. Honors the history of both schools, and it widens Ralph Lauren's storytelling to include HBCUs into their brand's collegiate aesthetic, which is so cool. If you guys are not familiar with Morehouse and Spelman, back in the day, most universities were gender specific. There were girls' schools and there were male schools. Mm-hmm. So most schools, like Harvard was a male school, they've integrated. Right. They have become co-ed, not Spelman and Morehouse. Now, I don't know if you, the other gender can attend classes or maybe online, but they are still gender specific.
They are.
So that's just a little tidbit. So Spelman is a privately owned liberal arts college for women. And famous graduates include Pulitzer Prize winning author Alice Walker, Stacey Abrams, LaTanya Richardson, Keisha Knight Pullman. Mm-hmm. Morehouse is a private, historically Black men's liberal arts college in Atlanta, and notable alumni include Martin Luther King Jr., Samuel L. Jackson, Spike Lee, John David Washington. Morehouse men are said to be men of excellence who are well-read, well-traveled, well-dressed, well-spoken, and
up next, our picks for this week's Sexiest Man Alive. But first, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. During hard times, it can get really difficult if you don't have anyone to talk to. Being alone with your thoughts can be an isolating feeling that can allow negativity to consume you.
This is why we are sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to.
There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. You just fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs, and then you get matched with the therapist in under 48 hours.
Then you schedule secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you can exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. You can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime.
Join the 2 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. So many people use BetterHelp that they are currently recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states.
Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/free-for-coffee. That's betterhelp.com/free-for-coffee. And well-behaved. That would do anybody, right?
Yeah, that would.
Like all men should strive for that.
Please, we like this checklist.
Yes, all of that. So check out that collab. I did check it out.
The collection is so cute.
When you hear this, it will be yesterday when it dropped. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Yeah. Everything that you expect of Ralph Lauren. But the fun thing is the brand produced the campaign with an all-Black cast, including photographers, creative directors, cinematographers, and talent. And a lot of it was comprised of the students, faculties, and alumni of the two institutions.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's gorgeous, beautifully rendered. Everything you expect of Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
Just lush, opulent,
the
gorgeous.
Prep is definitely there.
Just so check that out.
Yeah. There were 2 sweaters that I thought, I'm going to need this before the fall.
Oh my gosh. So gorgeous, y'all.
Yeah, they're super cute.
So that's our Bridgerton episode.
It
y'all.
is. We only have the sexiest man alive this week.
Oh, that's right. We forgot that.
I did not.
Oh,
my guy is sexy.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and pick Jonathan Bailey, who was Anthony. He brought so much heat.
I was going to pick him, but I knew
he really did.
He did.
He's really kind of not my type. Of course, he's gorgeous. He's a doll.
But he sold it to us.
But he sold it.
Yes, he sold it. Because season 1, I was like, oh, it's going to be.
He was just a whore.
Well, no, he wasn't a rake with a
up
capital
against a tree
R, with a capital
and whatever.
R.
We didn't see. We saw his tenderness. His tender sexy.
Which
was very sexy.
I was like, Anthony's next? Like, I was not excited at all.
Me too.
And then by episode 2 of this season, I'm like,
he sold it. Okay.
Anthony. And I mean, major kudos to him for proving that
he's a great actor.
He's an amazing actor. He is an openly gay male. And I feel like it is amazing to have the opportunity to not be typecast. To not be cast as, well, you're a gay male. We want to cast you as a gay male. Because we were buying it, okay?
Yeah, I bought it.
I bought every hook, line, and sinker. I was like, okay, Anthony is selling it.
Their scenes really rivaled the Dukes.
They did.
And
they rivaled the Dukes.
They really did. So kudos to them.
His
they
walls
had great
came down. He was
great
handsome.
chemistry.
Yes, they did have good chemistry.
It was great to see. Because you've seen him in sex scenes before, and it's just sex.
It's just sex.
But we saw his tender side.
Yes, I agree.
And his sexy side. So that was fun.
I loved it.
That.
Yeah.
Loved seeing that.
Yeah, I'm buying anything he's selling because he did really good.
Great job.
So we've used this name so many times. I'm so sad to confuse you all. But so the dad... So Anthony, all of the Bridgerton kids, their dad, his name was Edmund. We knew that he was deceased. We now learn how he passed and kind of get some insight to who he was when he was living. That actor, y'all, is super hot. And his name happens to be Rupert Evans, which is really funny. Evans is like my family name.
Oh, so cool.
I'm like,
you might be a cousin.
Do I know you?
A cousin.
Do I know you? And of course, another Rupert for me to love, but he
was really cute, and it was a great storyline.
It was a great storyline,
very well acted.
Yeah,
I bought that too.
I did too, girl. That last scene,
it was very heart wrenching.
It was. You're sitting there like, oh my god, and he passed. Like, I don't know why I was sitting there as if the man wasn't going to die. We knew this from season
we knew
1.
He was already dead.
But he really he sold it.
He was very handsome.
Yes,
which is why we want somebody for Violet.
Yes,
because we saw their love and her grieving, and we just need her.
She's at a point where I think she could do it. It's been 10 years. I think now she could do it. Yeah,
and wouldn't their Bridgerton is so good at breaking barriers and doing things that have not been done.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see an older
couple. Yes,
love story.
Yes.
We're not dead.
Right.
So that's what let's see that.
She has so much life left.
See that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you love that?
Yeah. Like, come on.
And, we kind of hadn't thought of her in that way until this. We saw her as a partner, a wife, not just the mom.
And, right.
So that was wonderful. So we need to see a little more.
Well, guys, we really hope that you enjoyed this episode. We love doing these kind of reviews. It's always fun when your perspective doesn't match, because we had things where I was like, no, I love this. And
I was like,
no,
what?
I didn't like that. I'm like, what do you mean?
But we both loved it.
We did love it.
You can agree and agree to disagree and still enjoy something.
And remain cordial.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Well, until we promenade again.
part of the Boundless Audio Podcast Network.